When I started in the business back in 1990, I was lucky enough to get some training around a sales process I could follow. It worked for its time. It was at least a repeatable process, and it carried me for 11 years all the way from lot guy to the general manager. After I graduated from NADA Academy back in 2000, I started training people on the industry standard process. Again, it wasn't bad, and at least it was a process, but we developed everything from a distance. I was teaching in theory from hotels, not actually testing them in the field. When I went back to run a Ford store after 13 years, I realized what we had been teaching was good, but it was out of touch with the way buyers had changed. For example, we taught that speed kills on the lot, when in reality, the biggest complaint anyone had was about how long it took to buy a car. Our entire process was out of order and took way too long. I had been teaching tens of thousands of people how to do things that, in my eyes, were now wrong or, at the very least, not the most efficient and customer-friendly. Once I got back on the lot and could see what was and wasn't working, I started to tackle some of our biggest hang-ups from the combined perspective of a trainer, manager, and salesperson. Most of our time monsters got sorted out by layering the sales process and rearranging our approach. As we changed the way we did the walk-around and how we did our presentation, the first half of the sales quadrant started to take shape. But then there was still a big block of time that would get eaten up at the end, when it was time to actually wrap up the sale. We'd bring them inside after doing a silent walk-around, set them down, fill out an appraisal slip, get the manager to finish the appraisal, and complete the paperwork, all before starting the negotiation. 2 hours of back and forth after the presentation ended, we might or might not have a deal. Moving the trade walk and appraisal to the beginning helped speed up the velocity of the deal, and so did cutting down the presentation demonstration time, while utilizing technology throughout the process. But we were still grinding out the deal to the end, and it was killing the whole process. The solution came to me when I was holding in-house training at a dealership. I was coaching the managers while they were working deals, and the whole time I was there, practically every deal that came to the desk was blowing up. We quickly realized that the managers were getting involved too late in every deal, and as a result, it took a ton of time. All of it came down to one common thread. The customer wasn't committed. Managers getting involved was a good thing. The problem was it was after the first pencil and often too late to deliver a win-win situation. Finally, I realized that we had to leave the office and get out there with them. Before any pencil happened, we needed to sit down with the customer ourselves to find out how committed they really were. Just as I suspected, the salespeople had become customer advocates, closer to being sales prevention people than actually trying to make deals happen. They didn't want to close them and didn't want to pressure people, so they were bringing half-hearted commitments into the negotiation, hoping that the right number would make it work.